Welcome to Happy Trails Hiking. Today, Forest Park's ecologist, Amy, will be joining us for a walk through Successional Forest.
And I'm the Forest Park Forever park ecologist here in Forest Park. We're going to be going around Successional Forest, which is one of the natural areas across Forest Park. We have about 180 acres that are set aside in the park for natural areas. And this is one of the two forests that we have in Forest Park. It's about 20 acres, and we're going to look at some of the different flowers, maybe talk about a little bit of the wildlife, and really explore how we manage or maintain this area and make it so that people want to engage with it and want to take their fall pictures in here every single year.
Amy had so much information to share with me in our very short time together.
So over here it's going to look a lot denser, and
Sure.
You can tell that that density is both on the upper canopy and in the lower canopy and even the ground story. And that's primarily as soon as you get a forest that's an old forest and maybe it hasn't had the maintenance or management that it's needed, what happens is that upper canopy starts closing, and in Missouri typically fires would come in and keep a semi-open forest or woodland. However, when that fire is taken out, what you get is a really dense canopy layers, and then when you see the ground story, there's almost nothing in that ground story because it doesn't get enough sunlight to be able to grow. Versus over here, we did some thinning in this area to try to open up that upper canopy, let some of that sunlight hit the ground, and then we selectively thinned. We don't harvest any of the wood. It's not like we're gaining any money. This is really for ecological purposes that we're thinning. And when the sunlight hits the ground, you can see we added this seed and we added this plugs because it didn't exist here before. But once the sun actually hits the ground, then this is Rudbeckia triloba, or a black-eyed Susan type species. And once the sunlight's actually able to hit that ground, you're going to get really interesting, complex, healthy ecosystems where grasses can grow. And if you have grasses, then you have the ability to put a fire through here again.
Sure.
And once you put a fire through here again, then you have the ability to make a system that's a little bit more sustainable. We're always, because this is the city of St. Louis and we're in an urban area that has fragmentation, we're always going to have to steward these areas. However, if we can make them the healthiest, most sustainable areas, then the resources we need to be able to maintain them or to support them will be reduced. But also it means that because they're reduced because they're able to support each other. So backing up, the first part of that question is why do we need to add seeds and plugs? Which is this area where we stand today, if we were here in the 1950s, would have actually been a turf grass field.
Okay.
Yeah, with a couple trees smattered around.
Okay.
Then it was let go to become natural, and when that process happened, a lot of what happened was invasive or non-native species kind of took over, or really, really aggressive native species are going to be the only things that can really compete with that, because the soil composition and biological qualities aren't there, and it just has a history that's been on it as turf grass.
Sure.
When we do restorations, we always have to look at adding vegetative material back, whether that's in plug, tree form, or seed form.
Okay.
And how we decide those are first off looking at what are our goals for the site, what is the habitat, what is it actually capable of becoming. And then also, we always, in our nature reserve sites, we're always focused on making as healthy and representative of a habitat as we can for Missouri native habitats. So do you know how to...
These guys are faster than Trekker.
Okay.
Hey, lady.
Cute little buddy. Hey, buddy.
So
Says I'm out of here.
with the St. Louis Zoo,
box turtle?
Yeah. You can see that there's a couple notches. And essentially each turtle, as part of that study, gets a code.
Okay.
Really?
And so you can count the shoots, and so it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So I, J, K, L, M. So this is ILM.
Hi, ILM.
Hello.
So this is a study through the St. Louis Zoo. That
Yeah,
they
the
marked
St. Louis
tree.
Zoo ICM unit.
Okay.
And they're looking at. There you go, bud. They're looking at box turtles in an urban center such as Forest Park compared to a rural areas. Their site is over at Tyson Research Center. And they're comparing home ranges and diseases and mortality. And then they're also actually comparing that to Galapagos Island turtles.
Oh, wow. So do not handle the turtles when you find them here in Forest Park, but you can look and see if you can identify what their code is, but don't pick them up.
You can take a picture. The St. Louis Zoo actually has an app and a website that if you were to find one, you could take a picture from the top of the shell and send that to them, and they'll be able to use that data.
Awesome, thank you.
And black cherry is a fast-growing tree, and it can kind of take over areas that have been disturbed. So we have a lot of black cherries in Successional Forest because after they let it go outside of being a turf area, then it started getting whatever could fast grow in here.
That's why the birds like it so much, though. Amy, can you tell us what Forest Park Forever is and how we can help you out?
Forest Park Forever is the nonprofit that works in coordination with the City of St. Louis to help restore, maintain, and sustain Forest Park. We are a nonprofit, so we do always seek to have either donations and or to have support, whether it be volunteers or support for the efforts that the city and that Forest Park Forever is doing in the park.
Great. We will have links in the description to the Forest Park Forever and a link to their YouTube channel at the end as well. Special thanks goes to Amy for this wonderful interview today, as well as to Katie, the Marketing and Digital Media Manager, for setting things up. Until next time, this is Kay from Happy Trails Hiking. Thanks for watching.